Thanks, brother. Yes, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well.
Great. Love to hear it.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
I'll just do this right away, just so you can see that we're one of you, man. We're out here
I love
using
it.
the thing.
I love it.
I mean, I think really the place we wanted to start off, we walked by somewhere on this campus yesterday, and you were surrounded by hundreds of people roasting and giving feedback on.
Oh my God. That was the highlight of my day.
Yeah, I'm sure
No,
it
straight
was.
up,
I'm
yeah.
sure
Before we
it
jump
was.
in,
So-
can you just introduce yourself,
Okay,
because people need to know who you are
Yes.
before we
Fair.
get
Yes. Hi, my name is Chintan Turakhia. I'm head of engineering for the Base app. So I've been at Coinbase about 4 years. Was working on Coinbase Wallet since day one. It's evolved to the Base app. We've been just building, iterating, really trying to, bring people on chain in a really delightful, consumer-friendly way, right? Like crypto has a bad rap, right? And there's obvious reasons why folks are skeptical. But I think with Base, with where technology has come, UX is better, speed is faster, cost is cheaper. We have really now an opportunity to bring users in and really show them the benefits, why things are better, and it's on chain. And so I've been building the Base up with the team, work closely with Jesse. It's been great.
All right, so just to paint the picture here,
Yeah,
I think
tell
we
me.
walked in late. You were sitting in, it's almost like a Greek amphitheater.
Yes.
Alcove thing.
Yeah.
Alcove, sitting down with you and a few of your team members and surrounded by 100 plus people.
Yeah.
And I think the title of the sort of breakout session was Roast and Roadmap.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you're saying here that it was the highlight of your day. I think that might be a really useful frame to maybe sort of dive into maybe some of the early intentions with the Base app and where maybe some of the next iterations are going.
Yeah, for sure. So, we thrive on user feedback, right? If users aren't excited about the app, then what are we doing, right? And going back just a little bit, Coinbase Wallet, right, is good and great self-custody product. Focus on the utility that wallets provide. We all know that, right? Trading, payments, buy, send, all that good stuff. But then as Base started getting traction, as other chains started getting traction, we started seeing consumer experiences come to the forefront, all starting with simple things like payments getting better, then apps rolling out, right, across different ecosystems. We thought to ourselves, what is the next evolution here of wallet? How do we bring more people on chain? So we decided, let's iterate on that. Let's iterate on a super app thesis. Let's iterate on the notion of chat, of payments, of trading. But how do we pull it all together, right? To reward people, to help people earn, to make money, to go viral. That's where Base App came. And we started building it sort of earlier in the year, right? It was a complete gutting of Coinbase Wallet. Team just locked in. It was great, super fun. And Base App right now, it's in beta, right? And the reason we did this roast yesterday was we wanted to hear from the people here at Basecamp. What do you like about the app? What are you not liking? What do you want to see gutted? What do you want to see go away?
So
what do you want to see
did you get from that then? What were the
Yeah, we got lots of things. I think one of the key things was a lot of folks brought up, why should I tell my friend to download this app? What am I going to tell them? Hey, go download the Base app because Chintan said so or Jesse said so. That's not a good enough value prop, right? So there is real, genuine feedback on what is the singular core value prop, right? We have a thesis, we have a goal, use the app, help people earn, minimize the time to make money, right? And maximize virality. Those are our objective functions. But when you open up the app on that homepage very specifically, it's why do I see this chat thing, right? Why do I see a balance? I want to open up the homepage and see the feed. Isn't that what you guys are doing, a social type of app? Yes. But then why do I see the chat? What is this homepage? It seems just too much is going on, right? And you can't just open it up and get the job done. So that was one really useful, and it came from many people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just what is this app doing? Right? And we are in this stage where we're iterating, where we're ideating, we're going through the maze and trying to understand, we have a tab for social. It has video and text. We have a tab for payments and trading. We have a tab for chat. We have a tab for the wallet. And we have this home tab, right? How do we simplify this more, right? That was one really cool piece of feedback.
So what is your answer to that today? If one of my friends walks in, he kind of knows crypto, doesn't really care. How do you want me to describe the product to them?
Yeah, I mean, the way we think about the product is come here to earn, post, create, trade, earn, right? If you're a fan of a creator, you can earn by curating. If you're a creator yourself, you can earn by posting and using these internet capital markets to earn through traders and curators. And if you're a trader, be early and you'll find the alpha. But that's too much, right? I said too many things, and I'm describing a lot of the mechanics, right? Rather than the simple thing is this app will make you money, right? And it's all these mechanics that we're figuring out, the Lego blocks of internet capital markets, Zora, Coin, Farcaster, all these things, how they come together to deliver that value prop of make money by doing what you normally do, but just in this open global economy, right? And that's how we like that's the goal we want to get to.
So my main critique, if I was sitting there, would be that there's just not enough people on this app
The
right
demand
now
side, right?
for me to want to dedicate time to it, right? So if I'm creating content here versus say on Zora versus on Twitter, this is by far the least interesting place for me to go create
Yeah.
that. Even if there's, and in fact, there's better places for me to earn money even in a crypto way than in the base app right now.
Yep.
So how many people are using this app right now? When is the goal to open this up wider? Because it feels like that side of things is actually absolutely important for those of us that are creating, on chain and online every single day.
Yeah, I hear you. The supply side, like, yes, as a creator, you can come in, but it's not valuable if there's no demand side, right? That's literally what you're saying. And I agree. Like, we need to build up the demand side. There's about 1.2 million people on the wait list. We've been offboarding people, like moving them off the wait list in like 20K tranches. So we're about like, I think 100K into that or so. And we are looking actually once pieces of the flywheel of the create, post, earn flywheel come into place. And I'll explain in a second what those pieces are. We plan to very soon, right, open as many people off the wait list as fast as we can in a big tranche, right? And then from there, we'll learn. We'll learn even more because step one was like the crawl phase, like get the foundations laid out. That's what you're seeing today. There's paper cuts, there's bugs. We're fixing all of that. Then step two is get the flywheel churning. And that's really how do we bring in the demand side? Make the value prop clear, make the onboarding seamless. Like, hey, you guys, like you already onboarded, right? There's like so many steps to go through. We got to like simplify it. It's a lot.
It was
Create a base
lot.
name, create like connect your account, do an interest quiz. And like that's just the plain Jane onboarding, right? Like, let's be real. And if someone invited you to a mini app, right? Do you necessarily have to go through all those steps? No. Like, how do we get the user to the thing that their friend is asking them to try? Check out this cool content. Check out this really like this game, this Tetris battle game that I played and like made $5 on, right? How do we get the user to that money and earning and that magic moment as fast as possible? But to address like the demand side, so there's a couple areas. Like there's one on the mini app distribution, right? That's key. And what we're doing there is there's an insane amount of great builders out there, right? They're in Web 2, there's many in Web 3. How do we build out the tools for them to take their ideas and build a mini app as fast and easily as possible? It's actually not hard, but the tooling isn't there yet, right? So once the tooling is enabling developers to just build those mini apps and build them in a great way, then we can start leaning into the demand side. And a lot of that is bringing in the users through viral sharing loops. So, for example, Ted from Farcaster yesterday, you may have been there. It was a great piece of feedback. Like, okay, guys, she said, guys, you guys need to make the link sharing better. Like, you share a link in iMessage or Twitter, and it's like just this ugly picture.
She said that I am embarrassed to share the link
right
on socials right now.
Yeah,
so
yeah, and right then and there, like it's fixed. Like share the links on social. They look great now, right? It was a bad paper cut. The team just went in and like changed. So you have the dynamic image, you have like the creative aspect there. But we have to fix those things, right? And those are all in flight. So many apps, tools, distribution, push notifications, and really using the power of social and Twitter. So if we are helping builders go viral, we can tweet about them on Twitter. That's where the eyeballs are. But then how do we bring them into the base app? So that's where like those viral loops have to just be a magical experience. Cut down the onboarding is too much. Make it simpler. And then on the creator side, we have these amazing like protocols and protocol teams like Zora, right? And Retake is also looking at like live streaming, etc. But the core problem is my content. If I'm a creator, it may be on TikTok. My audience may be there. Snapchat, Instagram. I post there. If I'm a small creator, I'm not making much money. If I'm a larger creator, I have my flow. So we're actually going to launch very soon some tools to help creators cross post, right? So we want to minimize that friction and we want to say, hey, give it a shot, right? And here are mechanisms to go and engage your audience and tell them, check this out. And that doesn't mean moving your audience necessarily off of Instagram over to the base app. That's a tall order, right? But taking more shots on goal. And as a creator, if you have a simple ability to take your content library, cross post, make it easy, then you're like, okay, I'm seeing my audience. This is resonating with them on Instagram, maybe base app, not so much. And the big part about now bringing in the demand side, simplifying the value props, bringing folks off the waitlist. We see a lot of demand for people to get off the waitlist, but we need to deliver a good experience. That's the key thing. And we're so grateful right now. Like you all, the gang who was roasting the app out there, just they are in the base community. They're patient. They're giving us good feedback. But we have a much different bar to just go out to the general public, right? And you know that, and you have to deliver because that's the promise we need to make to a creator. If we're saying, hey, you can come here and it's going to be better than the existing platforms you're on because you will earn more, you will have an audience, you will participate in this global economy, the quality bar needs to be there too.
Did you guys just launch too early?
No, I don't think we launched too early. If you can always say, hey, should you have waited to launch? But then you're not learning, right? And if we're not learning, what are we doing? And the feedback from users is incredible. We need to iterate. And this is like we're taking bets. We're at the tip of the spear, right? And if you are not trying things, you're not going to learn. You're not going to like go through that idea maze exactly where your users are. We need to meet users where they are. And that means creators, curators, and traders.
Yeah, I think in my mind, like the way this works is there's some killer kind of habit forming feature that pulls people back into the product constantly,
Yeah.
and then they're in the product, and then they go elsewhere.
Yeah.
So I guess what would be if you had to rip everything out except one of the tabs or one of the core features? Like what would be the thing that you would keep, or what's your bet on that? The kind of core habit forming.
I think we're seeing. I think we have two habit forming areas right now. So one is you can think of it like the private feed, group chats. Group chats are habit forming. That's where you chat with your buddies. That's where you do things you couldn't do before. Putting in an agent like Banker or Flanchy, launch tokens, have fun, shoot the shit. Like it's fun, right? You come back to your group chats, but we are not competing head on with the large messaging apps because we're not trying to reinvent messaging. Messaging is good out there, right? We are trying to bring in on-chain primitives into a group chat, right? With these agents, with payments, with launching tokens, with doing these actions much easier. And honestly, like bets, prop bets, having a little fun, right? Lots of folks are and friends, you guys probably do it. Say, yo, man, like I'm a 49ers fan. Niners are gonna win, this week. I made a bet with a friend I think it was 2 weeks ago. Seahawks and Niners. I was like, Niners are going to win, and they did. It was great.
Free money, basically. But yeah.
Yeah, right. Free money. Yeah, there you go. So that's one area where we see that retention and people coming back. And I think the other thing is around the feed, and I think the feed will evolve. Right today, the feed is primary. Primary is text that's pulling from Farcaster. Secondary is video. Right, and we've heard the feedback when a new user that's not in the crypto space comes and sees that text feed, they're like, I don't know these people. I don't know what they're saying in our language, right? Our crypto slang and language. This isn't for me. I'm like, that's such a good signal. I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Should we be having this be the first thing users see? Maybe not if that's what we're getting in terms of feedback. And so I'd want to bet, and I think we should be thinking as we evolve, what is interesting? Eyeballs go to rich media, videos, apps. Apps are content. Software is content. What people are doing in terms of like market making, like bets, right? Like you put a bet on the Niners with me. Cool. That's cool. Maybe some other Niners fans out there will enjoy it. Like prediction markets are big. And a lot of why people come to quote unquote crypto apps is to get alpha. And we have this possibility of taking off-chain and on-chain data. On-chain includes trading, prediction markets, content creation, etc., and off-chain data of like what's going on in the news, etc., and blending it together to help people see what markets are doing, to be early, to get that alpha, and then to help them execute on that alpha as fast as possible. Now, the exact like, is it just going to be video and nothing else? Is it going to be like video plus other types of content? That's where we're iterating. But we need to simplify. We really do, because I think we're giving the user too much to figure out and expecting them to figure it out.
I think that's big, and I think what I really want base app to be is the thing I can give to my golfing buddies, so that we can actually just pay each other for, well, me usually paying them for losing money in golf to them.
I'm on that same side too.
And I think this would actually be too overwhelming for them right now. And so I love the idea of messaging. I guess the question for me really is like, if you sort of are doing the competitive analysis out there, who are the competitors for the base app? Is it Robinhood? Is it the Coinbase, current, exchange app? How do you sort of think through the competitive landscape?
Yeah, so we don't think of those necessarily as the competitors, because what we're trying to do with the base app and what we're iterating through is what can these on-chain primitives, right? Base is low cost, it's fast, it's a great L2. What can these on-chain primitives unlock that you can't do in any app today, right? If we are just looking to copycat and reinvent the wheel, like that's not going to draw then the distribution builders want, the eyeballs and the demand side of what you've been saying, right? So if you think like, for example, existing payments app, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, etc., they have sort of their limitations, right? They work in certain geos, right? They're not completely permissionless. There's fees involved. So from the base app and how it relates to payments, use stablecoins, global, permissionless, send money anywhere, anytime, for free, instantly. That's the thing to solve for there. That's the value prop. Then if we go and think about social, right? And social can be just the creation and how people value your content. If you think about the existing social platforms, they have their niches, they do great, but are creators having their content valued in an open market? No. That's the new thing here. So we think about Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter. We get inspiration from them, but how do we do it better? That is more, accrues more value to creators and curators across a global economy, right? And so it is almost like, in my opinion, like a yes and, like these existing platforms do a nice job, but layer on the primitives of what you can achieve with on-chain and open protocols. What then is the net better experience? And I think a lot of what we face in crypto, and I see this, and I see this in the app, our app, base app, I see this in other apps crypto builders are making, is we express a lot of the how when we design the UX of an app, which isn't great because the how in crypto is very complicated. Like when you want to, for example, buy content, right? Right now we show a trading interface. I think that's good because that is the how mechanic though, right? Of you are going to take some USDC, buy some content coin from Seed Club or whatever it is, and boom. And then, but the user is faced with like a signing prompt, some slippage. There may be a liquidity warning, right? But that's all very, very complicated. And that's so much of the how of trading happens. How do we force even more simplicity? What am I doing when I'm buying and valuing someone's content? What is going on in the consumer's mind? Why would they even want to do that? And that's the core question we want to make so simple and easy, where it's just boom, done. I love it.
I'm just imagining you navigating your strategic planning docs or decks, and just thinking about the multitude of different priorities and intentions behind it. Because I think this is, and even one of the sort of higher level ones, which is we just don't see everything apps in the West take off in the same way that we see in other places. So like, is this even the right starting point? And so, I mean, I think clearly you're approaching with the right approach here, which is to sort of be driven by users, be driven by the data. Obviously getting more users on is going to be a big impact for that. And clearly having the simple flow of I'm interested to getting value from it is the right move before bringing in the gazillions of people who are probably to come in. But I've been a very vocal doubter of everything apps. mostly because of the complication of trying to have multiple. You just have so many bosses sitting there. If you're
Yeah,
sitting
yeah,
back,
yeah,
like
yeah.
You have like 6 different features that are just screaming.
They're
for you to
screaming
be able
for the attention, and
Yeah.
everything apps don't start as everything apps. They start as like WeChat is a messaging app,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Killer, excellent, and then everything gets layered on there,
Yeah.
right? And I think part of the way we approach this is laying the foundation so we can learn quickly, right? There are existing messaging apps. There are existing social posting apps, right? But a big part that's net new here that we need to learn from is how do a bunch of different open protocols interface with each other at the technology level, but at the product experience, like the user experience level. And I think that is partially the reason why we started with this approach, to learn and see. And it's okay to like take that step and then say, hey, you know what, we can cut back a little bit here,
Mhm.
right? Once we get the feedback, which we love it, cut back, go more narrow, more clarifying, and get to that light bulb of like value prop.
Base app is a messaging app. It's where we're going next here.
Maybe, right?
Listen,
and
yes, I think that's the question.
It's so funny. It's like, I mean, we're guilty of this too.
Oh
It's
God,
like
we're the worst.
we understand we need to focus on one thing, and then suddenly you're like, oh, but also this is cool.
Well,
this
and
is
even
cool.
I mean, I think that the challenge of getting simple on one thing is that, or at least the sort of realization is that one thing has infinite nuance to it that
Yes.
can have so many supporting texts to it. So, anyways, I need to stop us here because we have a panel that we need to go on.
Oh, yeah.
Sold out venture capital panel.
Love
Who would
it.
have thought it here?
Yeah.
That we're going to have that. So,
Shocker.
my man, wonderful having you on. At least I had all these questions. I think it was great to see you taking the feedback that you had before. It was great to see the attendance there. People
Yeah.
obviously care.
People care.
I think, when we put this in the broader context of a base token and the base ecosystem, clearly the product that you're leading here can have a massive impact on financial outcomes and opportunities for a lot of people. I know that's what you guys have said as your North Star ultimately. So I wish you well in navigating the complexity of getting there.
Thank you.
Would love to
keep the feedback coming. Yeah. Really appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for
Awesome.
coming on, man.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.